So for the last 4 months I've been using the PikePro rods in all of my deadbait fishing, and just to set myself a bit of a challenge, I've been using one of the P100s and one of the P200s next to each other. So most of the time I fish with 2 rods, and the idea being just so I can sort of contrast the two and try and pick out the differences. And well, I love the P200s, they're absolutely brilliant, fantastic light, real crisp action, brilliant rods. I've been really surprised, to be honest, about how good the P100s have been, and for the price I think they're absolutely superb. Now they're not quite as crisp as the P200s and not quite as light either, because it's a slightly lower modulus carbon, but for the money they're absolutely brilliant. And you can see they've had quite a bit of abuse already this winter, and I really like simple things like the fact that you've got a full length Dupont handle rather than low grade cheap cork that you find on some rods. With the Dupont there's nothing to go wrong, there's no filler to fall out, nice and firm, lock into the butt rests really well, and if they get dirty you can just wipe them clean, no problem at all. Now reel seats are an area that I've had problems with on rods in the past, where after a while you find that the reel starts to get a bit loose and they don't lock down properly. Now I leave my rods set up all the time, and literally the reels won't come off from one year to the next. And so I've found these have locked down really well, and with no playing them at all, absolutely spot on. You know, I don't even think about it really, they're just there doing the job that they should be. Now blank action's really good. Most of the time, you know, I'm not fishing at long range, I'm fishing gravel pits and rivers, not really fishing reservoirs this time of year. And the 3 pound, quite compound through action is superb for short range stuff. But then on the river a lot of the time I'll have one rod fishing across to a far bank slack, and that means a complete change of tactics. So rather than a relatively light lead and a big bait, I'll often swap to a small bait and a big lead so I can cast accurately and whack it right across to the far bank, get it into those small slacks. And once again, the P100 has been really good for that job. Very, very accurate on the cast. I can load it, I've not had to worry about it and think is it fragile, because they've been absolutely superb and done the job that I've asked them for, even in some quite extreme conditions. Ringing wise, really good. I love to see triple leg rings all the way through. Nothing to break or damage there. Nice thick SIC inserts which aren't going to get damaged. The 40 size butt rings are ideal. You don't need to go bigger than that on a pike rod in my opinion. They're less likely to get damaged. And certainly with a heavy braid, I use the 65 pound PikePro braid for all of my pike fishing. They work really well with minimal blind slap on the cast. Another thing I like is the 16mm tip rings, really good. Just having that little bit of extra size just makes the casting a little bit easier, the braid goes through the rings easier. It's less likely to snatch or catch on a stop knot on your float rigs, so it just works really, really well. So all in all, great bit of kit, very well thought out, and for the money I think they're absolutely superb value.